fired at us as we fled the city. They were obviously hoping to repay us in kind. The windshield wipers rasped back and forth as Annika peered through the storm. The indicator kept beeping. Finally, Justin gave a shout, pointing to a sign emerging from the haze. Annika slowed the SUV to take the curve of the ramp, but the car's frame jolted. One wheel started to thump against the snowy asphalt, tugging the car to the left. "Crap!" Annika said. Haltingly, we eased down the ramp and came to a stop outside a vacant service station. A few scattered houses stood farther down the road. The snow blotted out the rest of whatever tiny town we'd ended up in. "Let's see how bad it is," I said with a sinking feeling in my stomach. As Tobias opened the door, Gav groaned. He was definitely waking up. I shifted into the middle seat to give him more room as the others got out, feeling my coat pocket for the bottle of sedative orange drink mix I'd made for him. Hopefully, I'd be able to talk him into swallowing a little more. Leo paused by the door. "You need anything?" he asked. "Not right now," I said. "But I think I'd better stay with him while..." Without warning, Gav pitched across my lap, clawing his scarves away from his mouth. A shudder rippled through his body, and with a sputtering gasp, he threw up. Orange-tinged liquid splattered the seat. Leo had jumped back. Up front, Annika made a disgusted noise. Gav sagged against me, and I wrapped my arm around him, fighting the urge to gag at the sickly sour smell already filling the SUV. He'd refused to eat anything the last 2 days. Maybe the dissolved pills had been too potent on an empty stomach. Maybe I'd given him too much. Or maybe, between the virus and the lack of food and our inability to give him even the most basic treatment, his body was giving up altogether. I blinked hard and shoved that thought away. "Gav?" I said. "Here, let's get some fresh air." I reached past him to open the other door. The breeze sprinkled snow over us, but it carried away the worst of the smell. Gav mumbled something I couldn't make out. "You want some water?" I asked him. He didn't answer. When I raised my head, the others were hovering in a semicircle by the back of the SUV. "The tire's done for," Tobias said, "and there's no spare." "Okay," I said, forcing myself to focus. "Can you check the garages around here for a car we can take a tire off? I'll look after Gav. Just don't go so far you can't see the SUV anymore. We don't want to lose anyone in the snow." As they hurried off, another wave of frigid air washed over us. Gav twisted toward it. He pushed himself partway out of the car and then listed over the ditch, retching. Orange dribbles dotted the snow. I rubbed his back, wishing there was more I could do. But we weren't going to find any more doctors or medicine out here in the middle of nowhere than we had in the city. His head swayed with the motion of my hand. Then he started to cough. I grabbed my bottle of regular water and paused. It might help his cough, but I wasn't sure his stomach could handle anything right now. He reached back his hand, and I let him take the bottle. He sipped just a little before setting it down on the car floor. "How are you doing?" I asked. "Gross. I feel so gross, Kay. And cold," he muttered in the rambling manner he'd taken on when he'd passed into the infection's second stage, which caused people to blurt out every thought in their heads unedited. He shivered. "I want to go someplace warm, back to the apartment. Let's go back there, Kay. We can sit by the fire, just sit and be warm." "It'll be warm when we get the car going again," I said, trying to sound reassuring around the ache spreading through my chest. The Gav I'd known, the one who'd defended our town's food supply, who'd protected the vaccine he didn't even believe in and made me promise not to give up on this mission. He'd have cringed to hear himself like this. This wasn't him. It was the virus talking. If I closed the doors and turned on the heat, I'd be wearing down the battery and using up what little fuel we had. And the seat would really start to stink. I needed to clean it. I straightened up and Gav jerked around.